number 3 running back position feels a little bit more wide open right now as well. And a solid gain for...
And they did have some snap issues to kick off their joint work against the starters. That means Dexter Lawrence and company for the Bengals on Thursday, and they were tested early. Want to keep it clean here right now.
This is, in many people's opinions, an improved Cincinnati defense, although there's not a lot of places to go but up from last year. Rome Odunze on the cross, friendly to the quarterback, and he takes it into Bengals territory near the 40-yard line. Down to the 36. Excellent year for Odunze last season. Didn't play the final 5 games, came back from the foot injury for the playoffs. Williams, check down, Roschon Johnson, and he'll take it down to the 29. Good gain on first down. There is a flag on the play. We'll check that marker at the 25. Ronald Torbert is one of a...
Getting the ball out of his hand, whether he's in shotgun or whether he's underneath center.
First and 10 from the 31, keeping it on the ground, and Roschon Johnson. You guys talked about it last week. There was a great story from Benjamin Solak on ESPN.com about how Ben Johnson is one of very few
exceptional, and the players gravitate to it, and he is what they call a tight end. Impacted his mental and technique approach to the line, and it's kind of his baby.
Williams, quick throw to the outside, and a nice easy pitch and catch with the tight end. That is Colston Loveland, the leading receiver a year ago. And of course, this is the building where he had that incredible touchdown to beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, just a nice little swing out to the flat here by Colston Loveland, who has a regular seat form.
Good work in the preseason and practice to be ready for the regular season.
Another fresh set of downs leads to another first down run with some purpose from Johnson, but we'll check that penalty marker. It is likely going to be against the Bears.
Holding. Offense, number 7.
Second season, 65 years of age, longtime Saints assistant, former quarterback at Northern Illinois. So it sets him back to first and 20. Williams for Loveland, just a little too tall. And it'll be second down and 20. Guys, you talked about left tackle being a position of obvious importance, but the revolving door has now seen Ozzie. Line to gain is all the way down at the 7-yard line. Williams just going to take a shot downfield. Odunze was the closest man to it. A little frustration there from Rome. Not on the same page with Caleb. It'll be fourth down.
Yeah, I think he felt like he got grabbed coming out of his cut on the in cut. Yeah, he's trying to sell that he's doing a go. He was coming back to do a curl route and felt he got tugged.
Goal attempt for Santos. Missed the field goal last week from beyond 50 yards, so sharp the rest of the way. And this one is nice and clean. Kickers are so good from 40 yards and in these days. The league rate of makes from 40 and under is 90% now, and Santos right up there from 40 and in. Nice and clean to get the Bears on the board with the number 1s on the field. Bears preseason football is brought to you by Burrow, and most of the ones will be done for the rest of the preseason. They want to keep Joe Burrow healthy. This is Taj Brooks, one of several kick returners that the Bengals can audition. He'll get past the league average marker of the 31-yard line. Dante Manning has gone back-to-back preseason games with a couple of nice special teams tackles. And Cincinnati will take over here. It will be their offensive coordinator, Dan Pitcher, calling the plays over the last 5 years in the various locales he's been in because of injuries to QBs. And he will go right through the air, right out of the gate to Dante Myers for a first down catch and run, or at least close to it.
This is a really unique bullpen, if you will, for these Cincinnati Bengals at the quarterback position. You have Joe Flacco, 19 years. Josh Johnson, what is it, 14 years? And the local guy, Sean Clifford. Right here in Cincinnati he is from, getting an opportunity, competing against that wealth of knowledge.
Switch pass sweep. This will be a stiff test yet again. Flag thrown on this run play for Taj Brooks. We'll check that marker from the far side.
Offside. Defense number 99 lined up in
with some of the starters today. Handoff for Brooks, and a good job of penetrating. DeMarco Jackson in on that tackle. Getting big bodies down there, and including blitz coming for the Bears. Johnson, cool and calm as he delivers to the sideline, but a good job by Dante Manning, who's on the practice squad last year, going up against the rookie out of Georgia, Colby Young. Made it tough on him to try to finish that catch.
Yeah, way to close.
And movement off the left side right away. Jalen Rivers, the penalty.
Ball start. Offense number 74, 5-yard penalty.
Johnson, floater. Trying to recreate the play a couple of snaps ago, and this time Young makes the catch against Manning for the first down.
I think I stand corrected too. I think Josh has been in the league for the same amount of time as Josh experience. We got two guys 18, 19 years in the NFL.
Yeah, they know how to prepare. They need minimal amounts of reps, and they can step off the bench and have command of the offense. And like I said, if your starter goes down, your backup minimum. If he's out, if your starter's down a month, you need to go 2-2 with your backup quarterback. He's got to be able to have the same command play by Manning. And they've got a lot of veteran guys who have played that are going to need to compete for these backup spots.
Johnson trying to swing it out, and it's going to be ruled a forward pass and incomplete. They're going to Colby Young there a couple of times. Unable to hold on to it.
One attrition we've talked about for weeks.
Yeah, they are dealing with it right now in their secondary, and they have a lot of decisions to make that need to sort themselves out.
Bears just tipped their hand, showing blitz, and they're bringing it, including Thienem in the safety. Johnson gets rid of it fast and finds Dante Myers for a first down in front of the rookie Malik Muhammad. Down to the 27 of Chicago.
And that again,
the lead.
And Adam just took him in his fantasy league. He's in that one too.
Knocked out of bounds is Mitch Tinsley. He picks up a short gain to the 23-yard line.
And you're not seeing Joe Burrow because he has been
3 times in the last 6 years he's missed 6 or more games. He missed 9 games last year due to the turf toe. Came back and played very well late in the season. There's a push from Kendall Milton, and he'll work it down to about the 20-yard line. That's going to set up a third down and short situation for Cincinnati. That ball may have came out at the end of the play, but recovered by the Bengals.
And there's Chroma again. He's flashed. He's talked about his diet. I know, Stacy, you've talked to him. He said he's lost 20 pounds. He feels better, and he flashed last week, I thought. And Dennis Allen has done a good job identifying these guys. They're looked a lot better from what I've seen.
Brooks is the back. Third down and 2. And it's Josh Johnson on the keeper. Made Devin Bush miss on the tackle attempt. Josh Johnson, 40 years and 99 days old, still maneuvering for a first down.
He looks good, man. Listen, you got Joe Flacco, who's also had a hell of an offseason here with these Bengals. They really wanted Joe Flacco back. I actually spoke to him on Thursday, and I said, how many training camps for you? 19, but he missed one when he joined the Cleveland Browns, and we giggled over that one.
Covered a lot of Joe Flacco football over the years. In space, good job to bring Myers down. That's Dante Manning yet again. He's making a couple of nice stops on that perimeter.
He has, and so far they've been tackling pretty well also when you look at the Bears. I like their tackling. That's typically normally pretty poor in the preseason, but had the joint practice, now comes out able to, when he missed up top, able to still come back and grab his foot and pull the receiver down. Nice job by Manning.
Undrafted free agent with the Colts last year, got released by Indianapolis and signed with the Bears to be on their practice squad. Kansas City native has flashed a couple of times already, and now the Bears pointing out the Bengals front.
Ball start. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Oh, fairly sloppy on both sides at times in the early go.
Some bad as he's just learning to play the position.
Johnson has to dump it off for Brooks in space. Got a blocker, and the Bears rally to the ball led by Jackson. Brings up 3rd down and long. Excellent read of that play by the Bears defense, seeing it flow to the right.
Yeah, I think you see the team.
Jackson was in New Orleans with Dennis Allen prior. The Bears last year as well with Allen. He's got some speed on the perimeter. We saw it from Thieneman in there too. Bears play coverage this time, into the flat, got a tackle, and the Bears do. Excellent job on the perimeter by the veteran Cam Lewis, the former Buffalo Bill, who brings experience to Chicago.
Yeah, hybrid work in the...
Broke out in that opener against Detroit, as you mentioned last week.
Little CFL nugget there, Saskatchewan Roughriders.
I let you take all the Canada notes now more than anything else, because I just think it's the right thing to do.
In the AFC North, that move that they made 2 days before the draft to get Dexter, never done that. You could tell by Joe's language last year, he was unhappy. That sent a message to the whole organization. Hey man, we're in it to win it this year. When they picked up Dexter Lawrence before the draft, they gave up a top 6 pick to get him.
Caden Davis on the return for the Bears. Good block by Josh Blackwell to give him about 7 or 8 extra yards up to the 29. And Caleb Williams is done seemingly for the evening. He's had a perfect quarterback rating at 158.3. He'll start it up here from the 29, a yard on the play for Roshan Johnson. Stace, your thoughts on what you saw offensively from Caleb and company?
Well, I felt like it was relatively efficient outside of the holding call that we saw with the left tackle Braxton Jones, and I said maybe he'd like to have that one back. You're facing, he is going to grind to get back in this regular season as soon as possible.
Keenum throws sideline. J.P. Richardson, the wide receiver, with a tiptoe job up the sidelines.
Now this week they worked Theo in at the left tackle, and they activated Trapillo. So it tells you they're a little concerned. They're amping this up a little bit to correct this issue to get the clarity they're looking for.
Nothing downfield for Keenum, so Johnson on the check down. He gets dragged out of bounds by Isaiah Foskey, and that will set up 2nd down.
You might
moments in case Keenum's excellent and long career, in particular going back to Minnesota. There is Roshan Johnson again, another run to set up 3rd down and medium. We'll check this marker from the offensive backfield, though.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
That's the thing about this offense. Every one of these guys feel that they can make a play and take it the distance.
2nd and long. Keenum gets rid of it and is able to connect with Saman Ahmed, who had a touchdown from Keenum last week. He'll set up a 3rd down and long.
When it comes to the 5 or 6 receiver, we spoke with Press Taylor, the offensive coordinator, and they're looking for special teams impact and versatility. Can you step in, Jim, to that X, Y, Z role on game day if one of your primary 53 goes down for some reason, or you have to be inserted so that everybody else can remain in their position at that X or Y, and now all of a sudden you've got to be a Z. Caden Davis is somebody they think can do that.
Yeah, he's shown flexibility in each position, and that's what Press Taylor was talking about. Fine, Rome you like as an X. I like Burden as a Z. He can be a slot as well, but that's why they drafted Zamian Thomas. You got the 2 best running backs. They're the only 2 running backs to rush for over 750 yards last year, so you better be able to do that first.
It's going to be ruled incomplete for Jahdae Walker as Keenum tried to slide that up the sideline, and it will bring up 4th down. We saw last week. Charlie Jones back to return this Torrey Taylor delivery. 50, oh, forget about it. It's going into the end zone. I was going to say that's a pretty solid 62-yard punt, except it went into the end zone. It's a net of 42. Remember, the breeze is blowing to Taylor. With 17 seconds left. What a wild game it was here in Cincinnati. That helped spur the end of the year run for the Bears. End around for Dante Myers, who's involved early. Nice gain right to about the sticks. In his 2nd year as the head coach of Cincinnati, and Press was still an assistant with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Exciting game. It was a pinball machine going back and forth, but I had never heard the jungle get so quiet.
Sure.
No return yards.
Well, they did it. Not a lot of room for Josh Johnson to maneuver, but he turns it into something. An opportunity to throw it incomplete to Hudson. Jervon Dexter providing some pressure and forcing the 40-year-old Johnson.
That Ryan Poles packaged 2 7s to go get.
Johnson launches under pressure, and it was two Bears closer to it than anything. Dayo Odengbo has been in the backfield on back-to-back play Achilles injury, the second of his career. Ryan Rico boots it away. It'll be Caden Davis from the 30-yard line. And already an excellent return. League average on punt returns is about 10 per pop. That's better than that from Caden Davis. We got Logan Jones in at center. Or Barnett and Wills on the right side. Benedett at left tackle here. Sam Roush on the rollout from Keenum. He's got it. He's able to tip throw through multiple Cincinnati tacklers.
Just a rugged tight end. He reminds me a lot.
Urlacher personally approved Jones wearing it. He's part of this offensive line that's blocking for Roschon Johnson to begin the second quarter. Study of perhaps now Ben Dukes. He's getting right back into it with the Rams.
But the transition there at Iowa, pretty simple. Tyler Linderbaum goes off to the National Football League, who's, by the way, now the center of the Las Vegas Raiders. And they say, we need to move you over to the offensive line and take over that center spot. And he did. And he has a real good tell, Jim, because he understands those games, those stunts, those pressures, having switched sides of the line, and has talked about what an advantage it gives him.
Yeah, well, I just think you look at Kirk Ferentz in his past. Kirk Ferentz is on that staff in Baltimore. You know, that's what he's known for, is really developing offensive lines. He's got a good tradition, a good history there at Iowa, and they're always good in the trenches.
Nice second effort by Roschon Johnson to pick up the first down. Got stymied a bit and then kept on pushing. So the Bears on the doorstep of the red zone with a fresh set from Canada.
You know it.
Logan Jones in there along with Caden Barnett. And they had Jedrick Wills working on the right side of the line. Keenum, comeback, timing route. And it is made by Sam Roush for a short gain.
Canadians are just a little weird. And we will run through brick walls for you. And I think that's
Cleveland Browns. It was not pretty last week coming back from that injury. He struggled, gave up a sack, gave up a couple pressures, putting him on the right side now, and we'll see if he can work himself into form. Benedict was more than serviceable when he had to play late in the year for the Bears at left tackle.
Started essentially about half the year. Here's Johnson again, a heavy dose of Roschon, and he picks up another first down. It's 1st and goal for the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears just going with the power run game here. Why not? DeAndre Swift looks as good as we've ever seen him in the NFL. But these are important touches for Roschon Johnson.
Keenum has that one batted down at the line of scrimmage. And Cincinnati with Landon Robinson.
100 snaps at special teams. Salvon, not as much. I think there was like 70 snaps is what he came from when he was with the Miami Dolphins. But again, he's got an advocate on the Bears staff because Eric Studesville, the running backs coach, typically that's what happens. Hey, man, coach, do you have any players that are in your mind? Hey, man, when I was down in Miami, I know everybody likes Achan, but I was coaching this kid, Salvon, and this kid just makes plays. And here he is, arrives here for the Bears. Last week, what was it, a 39-yarder for a screen pass in space? He takes it to the house, and there he is making a play. So get him in there and see if he can continue to do it.
Johnson getting the brunt of the work from running back now. He lines up wide, empty set on 3rd and goal for Keenum. Off the back foot, just throws it up there for Roush, and it's incomplete. And that will be another drive that ends up in 4th down, and the kicking unit is back out for the Bears.
Himself and why he's one of the highest paid running backs in the league.
They just signed that long extension in Atlanta. Santos knocks down another field goal. It's a 6-3 today. He had the hamstring issue. He did not make the trip. Manungai, we mentioned, is out. Burden's going to be held out for the preseason. Xavier Thomas got back to work in practice this week. The Bears' 3rd-round pick out of LSU. Obviously, plenty of injuries on defense. The tackle by Hardy in special teams. Dante's back out on the field now. It's the war of attrition already for Dennis Allen and this Bears defense. Still Josh Johnson at QB, and that floater goes through the hands of Myers, who's gotten a lot of run in this first half for Cincinnati.
I thought it was interesting, though, that Kyler Gordon traveled on this trip to Cincinnati. We saw him out there at the workout this week. I know it's a frustrating situation for these. Optimism at some point that he'll return.
We did see Xavier Woods out there, the veteran safety. A short pickup as Jordan Vandenberg makes a stop. JB, you can add on this.
Dennis Allen opportunities and became a starting corner. It's not the recipe we intended to cook the meal with, he said, but we got to deal with what we have. The guys that are out there right now playing, we have just got to get them better. Back to you guys.
Yeah, good stuff, JB.
Ain't that
Johnson gets rid of it quick on the slant coverage from Josh Blackwell that time. He was able to prevent Colby.
300-pounders about 5 yards deep into the backfield.
A booming punt from Rico. It'll be Caden Davis from the 15. He muffs it, but is able to recover. And not much of a return, a couple of yards. And that'll take us to a timeout. It's always entertaining to talk to somebody who thinks so deeply about the game. Case, the son of a coach, college superstar for Kevin Sumlin at Houston. Set all those records. Has turned out a long career. Looking for a long connection for Jahdae Walker. He's got him in Cincinnati territory. The first long passing strike from the Bears.
Good timing, gets the protection in the pocket, just laid it everything. He's coaching guys up. He is a sounding board. He's challenging the coaches. You mentioned how he practices with the purpose, because that's how he challenges himself, because you need his perfect. And what a great room for the Chicago Bears to have him.
My favorite quote, I think, was, "This job is a little bit of Dr. Philling."
Yeah.
Meaning sometimes you have to play therapist and psychologist for the young quarterbacks in the room to make sure they don't.
End of the pot. Good job, Case. He's got that going for him, too.
He just found Ahmed for a 7-yard gain. He'll fake it to Ahmed and back up for that play action. Nothing as he stepped up in the pocket, trying to stay on his feet. A flag's thrown after all that. It's batted and nearly picked. It's loose on the deck. It's going to be finally ruled an incomplete pass. And after all that, we'll check the penalty marker. This may be against.
To be your coverage dictators, and he has the speed, he has the size, no different than T. Higgins of the Bengals.
Sure.
That's what you want your X to be.
Nice run here. That's a great maintenance play for Ahmed to go from 2nd down and 13 to 3rd down and medium.
And Jahdae Walker is such an interesting one, right? He made that 53 like the football and make me look good when the ball isn't perfect. And that's the mission for Jahdae Walker.
Certainly did it against the Packers last year. Oh, they had a nice play out of the backfield on 3rd and 4 to Ahmed with the throw a little behind him. It'll bring up 4th down and 4. We may see the Bears go. NFL average conversion rate on 4th down is 56%. The Bears were 51% last year. Keenum, past the sticks, bobbled, corralled, incomplete is the ruling for J.P. Richardson. He never completed the process of the catch before he went tumbling out of bounds. Nearly had the first against this Josh Johnson-led Cincinnati offense. The veteran back to work from the 41. And it's a toss play for Gary Brightwell. The former Arizona Wildcat gets chased down by the athletic freak. It's Jordan Vandenberg, rookie out of Georgia Tech, by way of Iowa Western Community College and Penn State.
And just look at the white jerseys flying to the football. It's the Bears took a chance in the 6th round.
Stop for minimal gain, frankly a loss. So now Johnson has to sling it towards the sticks. That one's caught by Tanner Hudson, and he is shoved out of bounds. It is right at the line to gain. It's good enough for a first.
Jordan Vandenberg, importantly, you think about a 6th round through the draft process, they liked a lot of stuff. Not every piece matched up when it came to this guy out of Georgia Tech, but he ran up and down the hallway and convinced them, and they sure are glad he's in their room.
Nice take by Bears front office as a late-round draft pick. Here's a rollout in connection for Charlie Jones, and he is able to pick up about 9 to the 40. Record-setting swimmer, incredible athletes in their own right. He played rugby and cricket growing up. Came to the United States when he was 10 years old, was a basketball and baseball player, finally convinced his parents to let him play football in Lilburn, Georgia as a sophomore in high school. He comes out 2nd and 1 for Cincinnati at the 39 of the Bears. On play action, Johnson rolling, being chased, delivers on target. Good enough for a first down in front of Manning. The catch made by Mitch Tinsley.
The Bears kick down there, they go to
the Bengals. Twist gets picked up. Johnson floats to the end zone, and Dante Manning was there.
Really nice job.
Colby Young for the deflection.
Yeah, really nice.
Swatted away with their offhand. Really good technique by the secondary.
Nice patient run by Kendall Milton. Nice strong basketball reference for our relative Hall of Famer here, Stacey Dales. Resident Hall of Famer, I meant to say. Vandenberg back into the ball game. At the combine, 455-pound bench press, back squat of nearly 700 pounds, and still ran a 4.74 40-yard dash.
Wow.
Jumping 31 inches on the vertical. All ACC to the last 2 years at Georgia Tech. Part of this, Bears pass rush with an extra body. Johnson lofts it up there and floats it into Colby Young. He finally connects with the rookie, and they attack Dante Manning on that pass once again. To the second half coming up tonight. It's the first touchdown the Bears have allowed in the last 5 quarters of this preseason. And Cincinnati has jumped back out in front with a 10-6 advantage. Calling all junior fans to join. Now you'll get Davis and J.P. Richardson back to return. League average kick return last year was about 26 yards. Average field position with the new touchback rules was a couple of yards better than it was 2 years ago. And this should be a play where you down it in the end zone because you would have had an opportunity to take that out to the 35-yard line. There is a flag thrown on the play as well. But that's a play you have to know. If that goes in, the best special teams coaches in the NFL. Handoff here for Johnson, and a nice job to get it past the 10-yard line. We'll take a look down the road to 2026. It's brought to you by Blue Philly, the Philly special, where Trey Burton ended up throwing a touchdown to the quarterback Nick Foles to spur them to a victory against the New England Patriots as Johnson takes it close. Obviously, he's watching college football. Bunch of college teams, Michigan, Oklahoma, Clemson, all ran some form of what eventually was the Philly special. There's a handoff for Johnson, and we'll see where they mark him. He was close to the line to gain on 3rd and short. So, of course, that play gets busted out. He goes, hey, this one might work at some point. So, to his shock, in the biggest game he's ever been on a coaching staff for, Nick Foles is down in the field going to Doug Peterson in that famous audio saying, Philly, Philly? Yeah, let's run it. And it ends up being one of the most famous plays at the Super Bowl. Handoff, Johnson straight ahead in a second effort yet again. Gets a Bears first down, and that should take us down to the 2-minute warning.
No surprise.
They will not get the snap off. Bears will have a 2-minute opportunity here, though, with a fresh set of downs, all 3 timeouts, and the ball at the 17-yard line. Some situational football coming up for the Bears offense. Timeouts for both teams. Toss play for Ahmed, trying to get to the edge. Clock's going to continue to move. He was tackled inbounds. So tick, 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 as it's a short game. Wesley French is out there at left guard, the former Indianapolis Colt. Low snap, Keenum handles, floats it, got Caden Davis, but short on the throw, and it'll stop the clock. In there for 3rd down and 8. Bengals bring pressure. Free body coming on Keenum, and it's incomplete. Trying to find J.P. Richardson. And Torrey Taylor's out there. That is a 53-yard punt to Dante Myers from the 28. And good coverage by Jack Sanborn and Savon Ahmed in special teams. Well, Bears defense is back out there, and guys, you have talked both about.
But he walked strong defensive tackle.
Now, minute 20 and 3 timeouts for Josh Johnson in Cincinnati. A little bit of a closing window, but he's able to connect with Colby Young, who's got the touchdown reception. That's good enough for 13 yards and a first down.
You know, if a man that large could play hockey at a high level in Jordan Vandenberg, he had to be pretty damn good. Really has a nice job getting his body in contorted positions.
Look at him chase Josh Johnson, who does a nice job of dumping it off for Taj Brooks, and he steps out of bounds to stop the clock with 52 seconds on a gain to the Chicago 31-yard line. Neville Gallimore as well. Blackwell's playing on the outside. Handoff. Brooks And he picks up a first down. 45 seconds. Let's see if a timeout gets used here. Oh, they'll let it roll, although looks like Defy Sewell is down to the deck. Defy gets carted off. 36 seconds to play here in this second quarter. Both teams still have their timeout allotment. Slant, Myers makes the catch and gets chased down and brought down quickly by Bears secondary. Matthews is there for that gain of 9.
Empty again. But now they're motioning back into the backfield.
That's Brooks next to Johnson. Johnson pumps, running out of time, and down he goes. Daniel Hardy and Jamri Chroma. Johnson to the end zone. It's a touchdown for Tanner Hudson. Brooks in motion. And Johnson. Bengals will go ahead and go for the point after. And McPherson is true. It's a 17-6 Bengals advantage.
And Dan Bitcher has done a nice job on the other side, calling the plays for Zach Taylor. That is his offense.
The turn, the twist, the way they can just move. And I've said it about Loveland. He's like a wide receiver, man. There is nothing that kid can't do.
Well, Loveland, a couple of timeouts. Draw play for Ahmed. He's got a burst and a first down into Bengal territory. Maybe the Bears use a timeout here because suddenly they're in Cincinnati. So a lot of games are won and lost. Keenum, crosser, and that is tough because Richardson gets tackled inbounds. Now you're probably forced to hurry up and spike it, or you may just have to use a timeout. The Bears didn't even have all their guys back on the system. It is very much an acquired taste. If you have acquired it, I do not judge you or begrudge you. Stacy and Jim, on the other hand, may judge and begrudge you for it, but that's okay too. If you do ever come to Cincinnati, go get some Grater's ice cream.
I like my chili thick.
Yeah, there you go.
Thick and chunky.
Dante Myers on the return, ahead of steam, and he'll take it out to the 30-yard line. That's where Cincinnati get to all of that as we go. But what's the biggest challenge, and then what's the goal for this year to try to connect those three phases to get to where this...
The elements are in place, and what we want to do is make sure that we're working in an integrated manner.
Fresh set of downs. Toss down the field, and it is caught by Charlie Jones of Cincinnati. New quarterback is in the game for the Bengals is Sean Clifford.
Spend time with each other. They have fun. They work hard. They're talented. So we've been blessed with an outstanding group of players.
Offense number 62.
We had a lot of fun. George McCaskey was going to all the
passionate, and that's one of the reasons why we do what we do, is to create that environment from a fan experience. Our fans are at the center of all of our decisions.
Nice job by Dante Manning breaking on the ball. Another pass breakup. I'm always curious about the evolution of this league. This is a business. This is a billion.
What happened at the Peanuts game last week, because it's known that basically by the time kids are 7 years old, they're starting to decide who they want to cheer for. And it's been said that by 7 years old, make sure that we take our time, put the fan at the center of all of our decisions, and build a world-class building. Because at the end of the day, that's what we need to do. Arch fan.
Oh, thanks very much. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Throw to the end zone, and an over-the-shoulder grab for the touchdown. That was a beautiful throw by Sean Clifford and floated right to the... So McPherson is on for the extra point. McPherson tacks it on. Sean Clifford went to high school here in Cincinnati, was born in Barrington, Illinois, and leads the Cincinnati. Well, dirty kickoff attempt. That's what you want to do if you're a kicker. That's going to go to the 20-yard line. It's in here in the second half. Good stuff from Keenum. Good flashes again. And now it's Miller Moss handing off to Savant from the prior regime by Ben Johnson. Antoine Randall called plays in the second half last week. It's Dre this week. That's a bouncer. It is a forward pass and incomplete. Here is Miller Moss under pressure, and down he goes back behind the 15. Foskey was there, so was Landon Robinson, their 7th-round pick out of Navy, and Bears will have to steer in Cincinnati. Al Golden's going to be calling it again. They obviously added Dexter Lawrence and some beef up front, desperately needed. What a punt by Torrey Taylor. That pushes Dante Myers all the way back to the 23-yard line. That was a 62-yard bomb by Taylor. Some of the 2s and the 3s on defense for Chicago. Will be a handoff to Kentrell Bullock out of Alabama. Good job to penetrate inside by Daniel Hardy, and a 2nd down play coming.
Al Harris, speaking to him earlier prior to this game, stoked, he told me to call it. One of his is in bunches. It is a practice. It is harped upon. We need 4 per practice every day of the week that we're on the field. And he has got buy-in by his men. We certainly saw it last year, leading the league with 33.
33 takeaways to lead the NFL, plus 22 in turnover margin. Bears rally to the football there. Beanie Bishop got in along with Antonio Johnson Jr., John Radigan, and Wayne Matthews. Everybody getting in on it. And it'll set up 3rd down and medium for Cincinnati. Al Harris, almost 200 NFL games played, twice a Pro Bowl DB with the Packers, played with the Eagles and Dolphins and St. Louis Rams, a Green Bay Packer Hall of Famer. I don't know if there's a more famous play in his career than "we want the ball, we're going to score," and Al Harris picked off my good friend Matt Hasselbeck in that wild card playoff game 22 years ago. Did he get the challenge flag thrown out here? On 3rd down, extra bodies coming for the Bears on the pressure. Clifford trying to outrun it, ends up throwing up the sideline, and a Jeremiah Martin pressure.
Until some of these guys get healthy.
Bengals will go for it on the plus side of the 50 on 4th down and 5. And Johnson showed his hand a little bit, bringing his body to the line. Now they got to adjust with the motion. This is what shifts and motions do to deep for Cincinnati punt. Omari Kelly is out there to return. Rookie out of Michigan State as well, just like his college teammate Matthews, a guy who had 3 different college stops. Wade for the fair catch, didn't want to risk a muff, so he'll let it bounce, and it's pretty much where the fair catch would have been anyway. So at the 17, 2009, and then Brian Urlacher before that on NFL 2K3, for those of you know, real ones that know the 2K series. Got a penalty marker here on that.
For them to have on their offensive line, and a key piece if they need to call upon him again to play left tackle.
Miller Moss's 2nd drive, and he connects with Maurice Alexander. Bears went 3 and out for the first time on Moss's first series.
To reflect on when they watch Joe and work with Joe. The technique at the line of scrimmage is impeccable. And you don't play all those years with Tom Brady without establishing that early in your career.
163 out of a possible 165 starts in the regular season. Moss on the move away from his arm side. He delivers on target to Scotty Miller for a 1st down. Let's hear a little bit of sound from when the guys found out those Madden ratings.
Is this legit?
Hey, I'm 7 now.
Moving up in the world, Jalen Johnson says. Ahmed moving down to the deck on a loss of a couple of yards from Isaiah Foskey.
Jalen Johnson thinks he's moving up to wide receiver. He spent the entire warm-up today with the wide receivers catching footballs from Caleb Williams and Case Keenum throughout. And he looks fantastic, by the way. And the brain and the savvy that Jalen Johnson does, good things could be in store.
Leg injury before the preseason last year, then that core muscle surgery that necessitated sitting out for a while. Ahmed gets hit in space by Takario Davis, and that'll bring up 3rd down. And Johnson came back for the final 6 games. He was there for the playoffs. We know how good he was a few years ago as an All-Pro, a couple of Pro Bowls as well. But he's got to stay healthy. He's still got 2 years left on that.
Well, they play here. It's
Moss under some pressure, got it to Britton Brown. Has a lot of ground to cover. and gets past midfield. It'll bring up 4th down. Bears lost a lot from that team that led the NFL with 33 takeaways. Nishan Wright is gone. Kevin Byard obviously as well. They signed some free agent contracts. Well-placed punt by Taylor. It's down by Jack Sanborn, shy of the 5-yard line. Game last year after the Bears season was over, and they showed Ben Johnson. He feigned ripping the shirt off. That was entertaining for the crowd there. Great pursuit by Josh Blackwell as he's able to bring down Keyshawn Williams off that great Indiana team a year ago.
Overlap.
Plays of the season against Las Vegas and Green Bay. Quick run for Bullock, and looked like Marlo Sewell, rookie undrafted free agent out of Vanderbilt, got the worst of that. We'll check the penalty marker as well. His name's Marlin, but he goes by. Can help those affected. Many families are still without power, displaced from homes, facing that rebuilding process. There is Clifford, and extending for the 1st down. He'll get out of bounds, and that should be enough. One of the worst weather summers in quite some time in the Midwest.
I don't know if you guys saw the closing speed of Jordan Vandenberg right there.
Continues to show.
Unreal.
Yep. Little screen play set up, and some crunching hits. Hippolyte gets in there, and good to see him get back up. Anthony Johnson was part of it as well.
I want you to take a look at this on this last play. And I want you to look. I mean, he was going for that home run catch all the way at the back on the warning track.
That's a 310-pounder.
Yeah, he's a good athlete, very explosive, and he hit the landing.
Yeah, we'll give him 8.7 for it. The South African judge gave him an extra point as he's from Johannesburg. There's another connection to Keyshawn Williams. He'll pick up a 1st down to the 43. Remember, Al Harris calling the defense here in this 2nd half.
Appeared to be a Beanie Bishop tackle. What an acquisition for him, for these Chicago Bears. And just remember, Grandma, when he was born, named him Beanie. She called him his Beanie Baby, her Beanie Baby.
Stuck
when he was born. His
stuck
first
to this
name is
day.
Shannon,
Yeah.
actually.
That Beanie nickname stuck to this day. Another find by Sean Clifford. This time it's Jordan Moore. Wayne Matthews flags him down, but another chunk play for this Cincinnati offense in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, you have to make it tougher than that.
21-yard pickup. It's so much about the marriage of Russian coverage as Gallimore makes a nice play in the run game. It's the combination. This is such a domino sport. This thing has to go well for the 2nd layer of the defense to do its job, for the back end to do its job. And this is going to be a patchwork project for the next couple of weeks as the Bears get a lot of guys back, hopefully from injury.
Yeah, like for me, the biggest thing, whether it's offense or defense, guys have to gel together. I mean, blitzes got to hit with timing. No different when we talk about offensive timing. Like when I go back and I throw a 3-step drop for a slant or a hitch or whatever, there's timing with that. There's timing on how the blitz hit up. There's timing with pirate stunts. There's timing with other things that you do defensively. And it's going to take Dennis Allen, I think, a few weeks early in the season for them to sort it out with all the injuries in that secondary.
And Lynch kind of overran Clifford, and that allows Sean Clifford to roll around.
With him just standing up as a pure defensive end. So Dennis Allen finding creative ways to use James Lynch.
Run game, pass game, details, top of the route, releases. I think a lot of things. Just getting my steps, feet in the ground, short steps, bringing my base with me and not lunging, and definitely improving. But got a long way to go for sure.
Coach Johnson said you are a note taker and a
football player. It's like, how much football can I learn, even if I'm not out there playing? At least when I'm watching the game or watching the game at home, even it's like, I can understand what's going on and have my input and whatever it is. And I also think it helps maybe younger guys or guys that don't want to is where he's supposed to be. So yeah, loves him.
Thank you, Colson.
Yeah, appreciate it.
58-yard try from Evan McPherson here, and he drills it. The last 2 years in the NFL yard line. He's had a bulk of the work in special teams and with a lot of the first team reps with both Williams and Keenum earlier today, but he'll get stopped shy of the 25-yard line. So Miller Moss will take over. We Again, appreciate Colston. Ben Johnson feels good about.
Yeah, I think when you go heavy sets, whether it's 2 tight ends, 12 personnel, or 13, one, it's a heavy run set. So a defense, they have to show their strength. They're going to roll up to the 2 tight end side unless it's an even front and 12 personnel. So, and with that are going to come all kinds of statistics. Your play actions out of it and your ability to run the football. Was out with injury. Puka Nacua was out. So the Rams did it out of necessity, and they had the guys that could do it. And they said, wow, we're doing pretty good with this. Let's keep it rolling. Nobody had ever done that before, because typically you look at like Zach Taylor or the coaches here, typically they're 80% 11 personnel, the Rams are. But because of those injuries, it forced them into 12 and 13.
It's a pendulum swing, Stace, because defenses have gone to like what's called the big nickel. That nickel position isn't a smaller guy. They actually put a little bit of a linebacker hybrid type player in there. So what do the offenses do? Well, we're going to put pass-catching tight ends out there to combat with what the defenses are now giving us. It's like a 5-year pendulum swing over and over.
Yeah, there's no question, and it could be a 3 safety look, which we're seeing a lot in Green Bay in Jonathan Gannon's new scheme. But the coverage is going to dictate what Ben Johnson does. And I think you're going to see the tight end usage go up. The 12 personnel is going to jump.
It's a great point, Stacey, because as an offense, you're always trying to fudge it. You're trying to fudge it. Well, what do I mean by fudging it? I can call 12 personnel. I can call Cole Kmet. I can call Colston. I can have Roma Dunze and Luther Burton to the Bears and Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson may be looking at that, hey, man, that's 3 wides. Because that's, hey, and 12.
Often personnel groupings in the first half of the game are to get information. What are the defenses going to look like when I put these guys out?
And they're just rolling through until they get the answer they're looking for. And all right, it's time to we're about to blow this up and expose it is what we're going to do.
Great tackle by Kickoff.
Downs in your first 4 games. You said you're feeling 100% going into the season. So how do you not only replicate that explosive start, but also maintain it?
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal. You know, starting off the season fast, just kind of like I did last year. And then just continuing that for 17 games plus, and then, you know, looking up at the end of the year and seeing what the stats look like. That feels great. You know what to expect. You were able to come into the building with your hard hat on, ready to work, you know, under Ben Johnson's style, with his tenacity and his intenseness. So it's been great. You know, I think it's contagious throughout the whole locker room. And
who Bob Ross is. That warms my millennial heart, I think.
My favorite reaction, though, Jasmine, last week she's got Caleb, and we get a Beanie Bishop interception. Right. And then we get a Skylar Thomas interception. Well done, Jazz.
Yeah, she might be the good luck takeaway charm right now with some of the interviews she's had. Great job by Skylar Thomas. Had to cut off this
rookie free agent making a name for himself here today in Cincinnati.
And those 2 really good years after a knee injury, came back as Maurice Alexander picks up the first down. 2nd and 17, and he's able to pick up 18.
For the Bears defensively after that takeaway. And we'll see if they can establish anything here offensively with Jim Dre calling it.
The Bears haven't had a ton of traction. 3 field goal drives. Miller Moss in at quarterback for this second half. Quick out route and a nice catch by the veteran Scotty Miller. Former Super Bowl champion with Tampa Bay, now on his 4th NFL team. Came up as 99 catches in 93 career NFL games.
Good catch right there. Miller Moss getting kind of a rhythm right here. Hit a couple receivers on the run. That one a quick out route, but a couple of easy, quick completions, and we'll see if he can heat up here.
Last year at Louisville after 4 years at USC. Here's Britton Brown trying to spin away. Not much there against the Cincinnati front. Moss comes from a very impressive family. His dad, Eric, is one of the most renowned architects in the world. He's got projects with unique angles and architecture in California. He's got a bunch in Europe. He's got projects in China. And then Miller's mom, Emily, is a professor of architecture at USC, where Miller was a backup to Caleb, and is a managing partner of the firm that Eric founded. So they work together. And now their son getting an opportunity as an undrafted free agent rookie in the National Football League. Very impressive. 3rd down and 6 in an empty set for Moss. Stepping up, trying to find a window. He will not. He gets dragged down. Landon Robinson has done a nice job for Cincinnati's defense tonight. And it's 4th down for the Bears, and the kicking unit's coming.
Well, out of the Naval Academy.
Well, if you're in an empty set like that, typically I would like him to really escape the pocket to his left and force the receivers that are flooded to that side and have more opportunities. Elects to go to his right, and obviously we'll see if they can make this field goal.
It is fading. It is no good. Wide to the right for Santos. Comes up. Knockdown, drag-out fight, seemingly in one of the toughest divisions, if not the toughest in football. The final 3 weeks could determine the division champion. Incomplete there from Clifford.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, like you said, when the Bears do play the Packers. I have not liked what I've seen. We're about to find out.
Yeah.
Because he was in a 4-3. So, and the same with Micah. Micah, I like him more in a 4-3 defense.
I would love to do, personally, selfishly, a poll with Bears fans. Would you like to see Micah Parsons in Week 5? It's unlikely to happen because Micah told us at training camp his goal is Week 6, which is Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys at Lambeau Field. But what if?
Well, my answer, I'm going to give you an answer.
Okay.
I want to face Micah. You want to know why?
Same.
I want him off of the injury because I will have his head spinning by the first series. Because I'm going to come at him. I'm going to cut him. I am going to down block him. I'm going to kick him out. I will have his head spinning by the end of the first series because he hasn't been in there. His knee's not right. And I've always been taught by Ron Earhart, who's one of the greatest offensive coordinators in the NFL, you go right at the best knee lineman. You go right at the best knee lineman, and that's what you do. You get their head spinning. And that once that happens, it's over. Because they're doing this. They're not looking at the point, Stacy, what you just made there. If I'm the Bears, I bring out my 13 personnel.
Yeah.
All right, how is that knee? All right, we're going to hammer you with heavy personnel for about 15 plays. And let's see how you hold up in the fourth quarter when the plays matter the most. It's a 60-minute game, and there is attrition over.
From his own end zone, Moss trying to
Rid of it.
avoid the pressure. Stepping up, taken off, and gets 5 yards out of it. A couple of interesting decisions from Miller on these last 2 drives. He saves 5 yards there.
Dangerous play there.
Bears have struggled on this down. 1 for 11 on 3rd down. 1 for 2 on 4th down as well. So Ben Johnson hoping for a conversion deep in his own territory. Bears were 7th in the league in 3rd down rate on conversions last year. Moss out route, tight window, and a good job to hold on by Maurice Alexander. He's got the first down.
Hey, but I love that. That's a nice, strong throw. But because look at the timing.
He's a fantastic thrower, but obviously you see the conversion to the receiver position because his speed is outstanding.
Went to wide receiver full-time his final 2 seasons at FIU in 2018 and 2019, and eventually an undrafted free agent. Deep down the field, excellent throw. This is a flag on the play, though. J.P. Richardson makes the grab. But you
Mason Murphy.
have Mason Murphy, the rookie out of Auburn, who's very versatile up front. And they've slotted Kyle Hergel from guard to center right now. That's your offensive line on this series.
It's going to be interesting. I presume the Bears would keep 10 offensive linemen, and we obviously know who we presume the starting 5 are with Braxton there. They love Theo Benedette, Ozzie Trapillo, of course. They love Luke Newman, who enters year 2 as a 6th-round pick last season. And so I'll be curious to see which tackles they decide to keep when it comes to Karana Magaji and Jedrick Wills.
Well, I agree with you because, one, you can't rush Ozzie Trapillo back, so you're going to have to keep an extra. If he's not ready, players that are coming back from that type of significant injury, and it's good that he's back and he's active and all that, and they're trying to force the issue, but if he's not ready, he's not ready. I remember we had Mark Colombo. Remember we drafted him out of Boston College. He tore his ACL. He was forced in way too early, was not ready to play, was not strong enough, and then ripped up his knee pretty bad. It was a really serious.
Nice addition to that room, but I'm with you guys. I'll be fascinated to see if it's 10 linemen and who they are to start the season with some of the injuries.
Yeah, and Hayden Large is very interesting. He's the tight end out of Iowa. A lot of Iowa guys on
the field and making the tackle.
From the 44 at Cincinnati, 9.5 to play, or 4.5 to play. And a short burst for Bullock. And it's stuffed up by Wayne Matthews. Jaden Loving is in there as well. Loving, undrafted free agent out of Wake Forest, had a couple of stops before arriving to the NFL. Bethune-Cookman for a couple of years, Western Kentucky for a couple, and then Wake Forest last year where he put together a strong season as an interior lineman.
I think, guys, my takeaway coming out of these workouts with the Cincinnati Bengals is you got two really good quarterbacks in Joe Burrow and Caleb Williams, and the growth of Caleb Williams. I was so impressed with my conversation with him after our workout, or their workout, excuse me, and how he explained to me what the picture at the line of scrimmage, Jim, looks like for him this year, that he can actually see the coverage. He's not trying to figure out his drops. He's not worried about the routes. He's trusting his receivers, he told me, and then he's just putting the ball in the right spot based upon the coverage.
Yeah. You train yourself as a quarterback. One, you always want to look at the front, through the linebackers to the secondary. But after a while, it's almost what the front seven are just focused on the coverage to where you're going with the ball. And I believe JT Barrett has talked about that. He is really elevated from that part of his game. You can see him processing. You can see the command tonight. I saw just the quick decisions he made, checking it down. So he's in a good spot right now. And again, I go back to that completion percentage. He's going to be right where Ben Johnson wants him. 70's asking for a lot, but if he's...
That's how Ben talked to us about, hey, Caleb can make me right now. And that's one thing, one of the conversations that they have on a recurring basis.
Being able to, go ahead.
Yeah, being able to be the big eraser if you're Caleb Williams. Ben is constantly talking about, hey, if the call is wrong, if you detect something in the coverage that isn't right, erase it, fix it.
To be in it. So they're all fighting for each other. Why? Because they want the ball.
Mari Kelly underneath and hit at the 24-yard line. Pickup of about 5.
But you can see every player is generally excited when another player makes a play. It's very unselfish, and they know their chance is going to come, and it's going to be their opportunity to make a big play.
Boy, doesn't it, quarterback? You have some similarities, some parallels in some capacities.
A couple stud receivers and the rookie Carnell Tate out of Ohio State.
There is Alexander
Ridley.
first up. Ridley's back, and he had a decent year. Alagayo Manor had a good rookie year last year. Chimere Dike was very good in special teams and outside as well. So there'll be some interesting challenges for the AFC South with Saleh and company.
I do not suspect Ben will roll Caleb out for that one against Jeffrey Simmons and that group, although I'm not sure they'll play either. So
we'll see who ends up getting the reps next week. Minute 20 left here in the fourth. Some situational football for Miller Moss and the Bears. Deep downfield and just out of the reach of Stephen Carlson.
He's like a kid in a candy shop.
Yep.
Everything he does, there's pure.
He's had some holes in it the last couple of seasons. 4th down and 5. Bears will go for it here. Still 2 timeouts if Moss can convert. Quick throw, too tall. Was trying to find Kadir Ismail. And that will be a turnover on down. First time. And on President's Day weekend, that's when the Super Bowl will take place out at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Super Bowl 61. Ben Johnson remembers they were a step away a few years ago with the Lions. Ran into the decade and a half last year.
Looking to reinvent some magic offensively.
And well, it's going to be interesting because if 2 came out of the Central or the North last year and 3 from the West,